What if I told you one person got so upset, they didn't just get back at someone, they ended up destroying an entire kingdom? Not with a big battle. Not with a powerful army. But with a slow, quiet plan so clever that no one saw it coming. And here's the surprising part: by the end of this story, you'll realize the kingdom didn't fall only because of revenge. It fell because it was already weak on the inside. Let's go back to the beginning. In a large and beautiful kingdom, there lived a very smart advisor. He helped the king make important decisions. People respected him because he was wise and always thought ahead. But one day, something terrible happened. In front of the whole royal court, the king insulted him. He laughed at him, made fun of him, treated him like he was nothing. Now imagine your teacher or friend embarrassing you in front of everyone. That feeling, it hurts deeply. But instead of shouting or arguing, the advisor did something unexpected. He stayed calm. He smiled. But inside, he made a quiet promise to himself. I will get my revenge. Now most people, when they get hurt, react quickly. They get angry, they fight back, they say things they regret. But this advisor didn't rush. He waited. He watched. He learned. He started studying the kingdom like it was a puzzle. And soon, he noticed something very important. Even though the kingdom looked strong from the outside, inside it had many problems. The ministers didn't trust each other. The generals were jealous of one another. Everyone wanted more power. It was like a group project where everyone wants to be the leader, but no one wants to work together. And the king? He was proud. Too proud. He believed everything was perfect. That's when the advisor realized something powerful. I don't need to attack the king directly. I just need to let these problems grow. So he began his plan. Very slowly. Very carefully. He started whispering small things to different people. Nothing obvious. Nothing that could be traced back to him. Just simple ideas like, I think the king trusts him more than you, or why weren't you included in that meeting? At first, these words seemed harmless. But words are powerful. They plant thoughts in people's minds. And those thoughts began to grow. Soon, people started doubting each other. Friends became suspicious. Leaders started arguing more often. And the kingdom slowly began to crack. But here's the scary part. The king didn't notice. Because when people feel powerful, they often think everything is under control. The king believed everyone was loyal. He thought nothing could go wrong. So when problems started showing, he ignored them. It's just a small issue, he thought. But small problems don't stay small if you ignore them. They grow. Meanwhile, the advisor stayed in the background. Quiet. Patient. Watching everything fall into place. Now comes the next step of his plan. The advisor knew that a kingdom becomes weaker when it loses its friends. So he started creating confusion outside the kingdom. He spread messages that made it seem like the king might betray his allies. These messages weren't direct lies, they were half-truths, twisted just enough to cause doubt. And it worked. Other kingdoms became careful. Then distant. Then unfriendly. Some even turned into enemies. Now the kingdom had a serious problem. Inside, people didn't trust each other. Outside, they were losing allies. It was like being in a game where your own team is arguing, and other teams are getting ready to attack. The situation was getting worse. But the advisor wasn't done yet. He made one final move. He caused a big argument between two powerful generals. Both were strong. Both were proud. and neither wanted to be seen as weaker than the other. So when the advisor added just a little pressure, their disagreement turned into a full fight. Their armies split. And just like that, the kingdom lost its greatest strength: unity. Because a divided team is a weak team. And a divided kingdom is an easy target. Soon after, enemies attacked. But this time, the kingdom wasn't ready. There was no clear plan. No teamwork. No trust. Soldiers didn't know who to follow. Leaders didn't agree on what to do. And because of that, the kingdom fell. Faster than anyone expected. The king lost everything. His power. His palace. His kingdom. And he couldn't understand why. What went wrong? He wondered. But the truth is, nothing suddenly went wrong. Everything slowly went wrong. And the advisor? He finally got his revenge. The king who embarrassed him lost everything. But here's the sad part. The advisor didn't just hurt the king. The entire kingdom suffered. Innocent people lost their homes. Families were affected. Peace was gone. And that teaches us something very important. Revenge might feel right in the moment. It might feel like justice. But it often creates much bigger problems. Now think about this carefully. The advisor didn't use weapons. He didn't lead an army into battle. He didn't shout or fight. He used patience. He used understanding. He used people's weaknesses. And that was enough to destroy a whole kingdom. But here's the biggest lesson of all. The kingdom didn't fall only because of the advisor. It fell because it already had cracks inside. People didn't trust each other. The king didn't listen. Small problems were ignored again and again. So when someone came along and pushed those problems, everything collapsed. And this doesn't just happen in stories. It happens in real life too. In schools, when friends stop trusting each other. In teams, when people argue instead of working together. In families, when small issues are ignored. At first, everything seems fine. But slowly, things break apart. Until one day it all falls down. So what can we learn from this story? First, never ignore small problems. Fix them early before they grow bigger. Second, don't let anger turn into revenge. Because revenge doesn't just hurt others, it can hurt everyone. And third, always build trust. Because trust is what keeps everything strong. Without it, even the greatest kingdom can fall. In the end, revenge didn't just destroy a kingdom. It revealed the truth. The kingdom was already weak. And all it took was one patient person to bring it down. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, you'll love the next one, where we explore how power can slowly change even the kindest people. Stick around, and let's keep learning together.